If you've been on the fence about picking up the Z Flip 4 this year, this video may help solidify your decision. I own both the Z Fold 4 and the Z Flip 4, and these two smartphones are terrific options this year for anyone looking to enter the foldable market. With that being said though, I feel like for many people, the Z Flip 4 is the right option when deciding between these two smartphones. In this video, I'll give you guys 5 key reasons why the Z Flip 4 should be your next smartphone. How's it going everyone? My name is RJ and this is Samsung's latest foldable, or flippable in this case, the Z Flip 4. A clamshell foldable made by Samsung that in my opinion is ready to go mainstream. Of course, if you guys want to see more content on the Z Flip 4 or even the Z Fold 4, then make sure you do subscribe to the channel. There is a lot of high quality Samsung content coming your way, even though I know it is iPhone 14 season. With the Z Flip 4, you will not find another device on the market that is as unique as this phone. Within these past few years, if you felt like the fun in tech is no longer there, then I'm here to tell you the Z Flip 4 is bringing back what we all used to love about tech. And that, my friends, is innovation. This is a clamshell foldable that unfolds into a 6.7-inch smartphone, the exact same size as the S22 Ultra. Just take a second to think about that. A phone this compact that can unfold into a normal smartphone with a pretty big display. Let me be the first to tell you there are not many smartphone manufacturers out there that are doing this. Maybe Motorola with the Razr, but they aren't doing it exactly like Samsung is. Especially now that Apple has killed off my favorite iPhone of all time, the iPhone Mini, it makes sense to get an Android that feels very similar in terms of compactness to the Mini. I mean, when this phone is folded, this isn't much bigger than my wallet. In fact, I'd say they're both about the same size. I'm telling you, at least 3 or 4 times a week, someone somewhere in public always has a question about this phone. They see me unfold it in public and politely come over and ask me questions. And I say politely because most of my interactions with people in my country have been quite pleasant. What I do find surprising though is many people here in Canada have no idea that Samsung makes a clamshell foldable. Believe it or not, there have even been some hardcore iPhone users that have asked me if it's worth switching over to the Flip lineup. Because quite frankly, they are bored of Apple recycling the same design over and over again. And I was straight up and honest with them. I said, hey, if you're not using iMessage or FaceTime, then make the switch over because the Z Flip 4 brings back the fun in a smartphone. Remember the good old days where we would all sit in front of our computer waiting for Apple to reveal the latest iPhone with technology and features the world has never seen before. Yeah, those were the good old days. Those days are long gone. But Samsung is out here doing something unique and completely different. They're bringing back the fun in a smartphone. And for that reason alone, I love this phone. This form factor isn't just for show. There's a lot of thought that went into the functionality of this device. There are many features in Samsung's One UI that take advantage of this unique form factor. Here are a few of my favorites. First off, this phone is literally a compact tripod that you can take with you on the go. You can set it up like a tripod at almost any angle to get the perfect alignment for your shot. The main outer cameras can be used to take the best possible selfie of yourself, or to even record a video, and you can use the outer cover screen as a viewfinder to make sure the lighting and the framing are on point. The cover screen also has many other advantages, but the one feature I simply rely on a day-to-day basis is for notifications. With this phone, I'm not so easily distracted when a notification comes in. I get a simple preview on the cover screen of what the notification is, and depending on the importance of it, I decide to interact with my phone or I don't. I think in 2022, we could all do with a lot less distractions from our phones. On any other phone, if a notification comes in, I have the urge to unlock my phone and see what it is. Then even without knowing it, I'll get caught up with something else on my phone, and all of a sudden an hour of time has passed by. And I haven't done anything productive. So less distractions and less interactions with your phone is a W for the Flip 4 in my books. My favorite feature on the Z Flip 4 has to be using this phone in Camcorder mode. Essentially, you hold the Flip like how you would hold a camcorder and record video. This quite literally takes me back to the days of my childhood using an old camcorder to record my birthday parties. Good times. But by far, my most favorite feature on this phone is taking a phone call and then hanging up the phone like a boss. Just to hear that clasp is one of the most satisfying sounds of my day. Of course, with this form factor, it's inevitable that this phone is going to have a crease. How else are you going to make a folding display? But this year with the Flip 4, the crease is a little bit less pronounced, and you do notice it in certain angles. But when you're looking at the Flip 4 head on, it's barely noticeable. Adjusting to the crease does take about 4 days, but I do find after the 4-day mark, you completely forget that the Flip 4 does come with a crease. The best analogy that I have to explain it is like this. You don't see your nose all the time because your brain ignores it. While your nose is always in your field of vision, your brain filters it out because it's not information you need to function on a day-to-day basis, just like the crease. The second reason has to be the price. The Z Flip 4 starts at $999, which is the exact same price as its successor, the Z Flip 3. Now, that's not what I would consider to be necessarily cheap, but at the same time, it's a pretty standard price to pay for a flagship these days. Especially when you consider its innovative form factor, you are paying a slight premium for the tech. But the the price of the Z Flip 4 I would say is reasonable. Samsung always has fantastic trading deals for their phones, and this year if you did trade in your Z Flip 3 or an S22 Ultra, you could save up to $960 off the Z Flip 4. Which to me is an absolute steal, so you're essentially buying this phone for around $300. I'll leave some links for you guys in the description below if you do want to check out some current deals. The third reason is the battery life. Surprisingly, with the Z Flip 4, this phone is tremendously improved in the battery department. In my experience, I'm getting 2 more hours of screen on time when compared to the Z Flip 3. I'm able to get through a full days of usage without having to worry about battery drain, easily ending my days with around 20% remaining. Due to this phone's unique form factor, this phone is powered by 2 separate batteries. The first battery has a capacity of 2,555 mAh, while the second battery has a capacity of 1,040 mAh for a total battery capacity of 3,595, which is a 12% battery capacity increase over the Z Flip 3. The extra battery capacity combined with the improved power efficiency of this processor, the Snapdragon 8+1 Gen chipset, gives this device some solid screen on times. My average over the past 3 weeks have been around 6 to 6.5 hours of screen on time, which for most of you should be more than enough to get you through an entire days of usage. The fourth reason has to be these cameras. Now the Z Flip 4 is not using flagship quality sensors, but this phone is capable of some very good images. The Z Flip 4 has 2 cameras, a 12 megapixel main lens and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, as well as one 10 megapixel selfie camera. Basically, it's the same camera configuration as the Z Flip 3, but the main lens is a better performer now in low light conditions. The pixels on the main lens are larger than before, which means it's capable of capturing more light in your shots. As you guys can see for yourself, these images look pretty good even in low light conditions. The images coming out of the main lens I would say are more than good enough for posting on social media. If you guys do want a more in-depth look at the Z Flip 4's cameras, I will link my Z Flip 4 review for you guys in the description below. Now for the fifth and final reason. This last reason may be a bit surprising, but durability on this phone is terrific. You may be saying to yourself, but RJ, how? This is a foldable smartphone. Of course the durability must suck. And I totally get it. If this is your first folding phone, you'll definitely have some durability concerns. I thought the exact same way you did back when I bought the Z Flip 2. But this, in my opinion, is quite the misconception. You see, the Z Flip lineup is actually quite durable. As an example, let's take my wife's Z Flip 2. She drops this phone at least twice a day. She's not the best when it comes to taking care of her tech. That's a completely different topic for another video. But take a look at this phone. There are no creaks when unfolding this phone, no fingerprint indents, no durability concerns. Overall, it feels and folds the exact same way as it did back when she got her phone over a year ago. So durability is a major W on the Z Flip 4. Samsung has tested these phones extensively for durability. This phone is capable of folding over 200,000 times. That's about 5 years of usage for the average person. And this isn't going to spontaneously fall apart after 200,000 folds. Either way, no one I know holds on to a current smartphone for more than 5+ years. The average consumer is upgrading at least every 2 or 3 years, so durability wise you should have no worries. What I'm trying to say is this phone isn't going to snap in half unless you intentionally are trying to. Of course, like any other phone, you are going to need a case, and finding a good case for this form factor can be rather difficult. But I'm using a few good ones from Spigen, and I'm currently loving the AirSkin cases. It keeps your phone as thin as possible without adding any additional bulk, all while amplifying my grip so I don't randomly drop my phone when I do pull it out of my pockets. I will be making a dedicated video on the Z Flip 4 cases sometime this week, so make sure you do subscribe to the channel and of course turn on that bell notification icon. I really enjoy using the Z Flip 4. It feels like right now it's more ready than ever to go mainstream. And Samsung, in my opinion, does want to get these foldables into the hands of many consumers as possible. Hence why they currently have some amazing trading deals. The technology to fold a phone is still relatively new. I mean, we're just on our 4th generation of foldables, but no other company out there is doing it like Samsung is. Apple and Google haven't even released their first foldable yet, and Samsung is already on their 4th one. There is no denying it, Samsung is definitely ahead of the curve here, and these foldable smartphones will only get better from here on out. So if you've been on the fence about buying a foldable, specifically the Z Flip 4, but you weren't quite sure if this phone was right for you or not, I'm here to tell you, you will love using this phone on a daily basis. I hope this video did serve you well. If it did, then leave it one of these. And if you made it till the end of this video, drop a dolphin emoji down in the comments below so I know exactly who you guys are. I truly do appreciate the dolphin gang. You guys know exactly who you are, and I'm thinking about making some dolphin merch in the future, so let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to flex with your foldable/flippable tech.